Okay, here we go. We're trying it again. Hi everyone, Emily here from Yoga Locally. Why? Happy to be recording this full-length hour-and-a-half class for you this afternoon. Nope. Hey everyone, Emily here from Yoga Locally. This is a full-length recorded class for you. It's a vigorous Vinyasa class intended to build heat and build up some prana and to get our systems moving and in gear while we're all stuck at home. Thank you for staying at home during this quarantine. It's very great. And Yoga Locally is happy to be providing this class during this hard time for our Brattleboro community. So pay it forward, help in the way that you can, your neighbors and your loved ones. And in the meantime, keep on checking in. If you have any special requests for a class that we might be able to provide, do let us know and we'd be happy to do so. But in the meantime, on with it.
Now to voice over because I'm awkward and this will be better for everybody doing it after the fact. So we're going to start in a seated position. Use a blanket or any other props that you might have just to get the hips a little bit higher than the knees, letting the knees drop out. And as always, I'll take a moment just to center and ground in your practice. I'm doing some neck rolls here, just some gentle neck rolling to help relieve some of the tension that I'm feeling. Oddly enough, you might be feeling too. And I also invite you to think about an intention for your practice, something just to hold as you move through this movement and this asana. We'll inhale the arms up overhead and start by coming into a gentle seated twist. This time to the left, bringing the right wrist to the left knee, tenting the other fingertips behind the back. Inhale the arms up overhead one more time and exhale, twist to the right, bringing the left wrist to the right knee. We're going to match the breath to motion here as we move through and begin to warm up the spine a little bit more meaningfully. So inhale the arms up overhead and exhale, come into a twist, twisting again to the left. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, lift the arms and rise. Exhale, twist one more time to the other side, to the left. Inhale, twist. Inhale, rise. Exhale to the twist. Again, I'm awkward. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, twist to the left one more time. And last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, twist to the right. And we'll shift to a tabletop position. We're moving into some cat-cow breathing, again, to help warm up the spine and get the body settled into this yoga practice. So as you exhale, you round into cat pose, and as you inhale, you lift the crown, arch the back, send the sacrum back, and drop the belly. Exhale, push into cat, pushing the mat away, and inhale slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, drop the belly, lift the sacrum, lift the crown of the head. Flowing in between these two shapes, again, just matching breath to your motion here. Take the time that you need to really warm up well in cat-cow and settle into your body and into your breath. And then take any other motions that would feel good here, dropping into child's pose, setting the hips back. You might want to roll forward if that feels good. I'm going to do some barrel rolls with the chest. So I'm almost imagining like I'm moving my body through a jar of honey, moving nice and slowly as you begin to break the parallel tracks of cat-cow, and just taking any motion here that feels improvised and feels right for your body and where it's at. I'm going to bring the right fingertips to the back of the head and inhale, lift my elbow towards the ceiling and come into these series of thoracic twists, thoracic spine twists. So again, as you inhale to rise and lift, and as you exhale to curl in. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, bring the elbow to the wrist. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, elbow to wrist. Move at your own speed here and do what feels right. You don't feel like you need to crank it too hard just because our bodies aren't quite warmed up. You can exhale that arm up overhead, and then as you breathe out, thread the needle, drop the right hand through underneath the left armpit, coming into this nice deep twist. Bringing the ear to the mat. Returning back to tabletop position. Once again, this time we'll bring the left fingertips. Once you roll through maybe a couple more cat-cow breaths just to help to shake out the shoulders and the spine, bring the left fingertips to the base of the neck, and then lift the elbow to the ceiling on the inhale, and as you exhale, bring the elbow to the wrist. Inhale, rise and twist. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, curl. I do move fairly quickly through this just because I tend to get a little bit of a release in my spine when I do, but you should feel free to go into this at any speed that feels right. Again, just matching breath to motion is the important part here. We're warming up the middle back, the thoracic spine. Continuing to bring the elbow to the wrist on the exhale and inhale and rise. Extend the arm up, work towards stacking the shoulders, really find that deep twist, and then thread the needle, bringing the left hand underneath the right armpit, letting the shoulder come to the mat. Staying here for about 3 nice big deep breaths before you turn back to tabletop position. This time we'll send the hips back to child's pose. The knees can be a little bit apart here so that the torso can really melt into and towards the floor. And we're walking the hands over to the left side of the mat, letting the hands go and wander off of the mat here, having that nice long stretch in the right side body, in the right lats, the right obliques, bringing a lot of weight into the right hip, coming back through center and then walking the hands over to the right side of the mat, this time sending weight and letting the left hip be heavy while I feel that beautiful stretch in the left obliques, the left lats. Breathing deeply here. And then I'll come back through center, bring the hands through center. I'm going to roll forward and round forward, just slide like a snake right into an easy Shalambhasana. So I'm bringing the hands alongside the body here. The fingertips are really reaching. I'm leaving my feet on the ground and I'm just lifting the shoulders and the chest off of the mat and breathing as I do, feeling that back engagement. Take a rest. Bring a cheek to the mat, shake it out a little bit before you inhale and rise and lift. This time, lift the feet off the mat. Again, Shalambhasana, grasshopper pose. Neck is in line with the spine, hands alongside the body, everything is reaching and lifting, toes are engaged. And then exhale, release down. You can shake the hips out, bring the opposite cheek to the mat. Place the hands alongside the breastbone, tuck the toes and push up into plank pose. Returning back to tabletop position now. We're going to start with a series of Parigasana. I'm shifting, you don't have to, I'm shifting just so you can see me. So I'm bringing my left leg out and then reaching with my left hand towards that left leg, feeling that nice long reach of energy in the right side body, and then tipping over, doing the opposite side. So my right hand is at the mat, my left hand is reaching and extending behind me. I'm being careful here to really see and notice what's happening with my torso and opening up my torso towards the ceiling. I'm dropping the hips down. You can kind of see what that motion was like. Coming into this figure 4 position and then aligning my torso with my straight left leg. So my right foot is coming in towards the body and my left leg is extending. And then I'm going to press back right into that shape that I was just in. And you can flow in between these two shapes if you've ever had a class with me before. I do this often. A forward fold, Janu Shirshasana, and then inhale, rise and reach, expanding the body. Exhale to fold in and through. Inhale, rise and reach and expand. Exhale, coming on down. Again, just matching the breath to motion here. It doesn't matter which speed you go at. You can pause this and spend any amount of time you would like to with any of these postures or sequences. Inhaling one more time, and then we're going to round back just to where we started with an arms to a T in Parigasana gate pose. You can bring the knees back together, and this time extending the right leg out, keeping the left knee in. Inhale, bring the arms to a T, and exhale, tip over to the right. This time the left arm reaches up and over and out, feeling that nice beautiful reach and stretch in the left side body. Again, I'm thinking about my rib cage and my torso, that the torso is spiraling up towards the ceiling. Tipping over to the opposite side for a counter stretch this time. And then I'm pivoting the bottom leg in when I'm ready to drop the hips down and move into the same flow that we did on the other side. So again, I'm dropping the hips down, squaring the torso to my right leg, which is on the mat. Left leg is bent in this figure 4 shape, taking a moment to warm up my hamstrings here, letting the back round, and then pressing my hand through, coming back into this shape, and then dropping the hips one more time. Inhaling, swiveling and that arm up, sending the hips forward. Exhale, come back into a forward fold, Janu Shasana. Inhale, stargazer pose, lifting the torso, lifting the hips, and exhale, forward fold. Again, moving at your own speed here. The only thing that's really important is that you're matching breath to motion. Inhale to expand. Exhale, coming back to a T. Bringing the knees together. This time we're going to do an easy camel, easy ustrasana. So placing both hands at the sacrum, the back should feel nice and supported. Sending the hips and the pelvis forward, keeping the neck in line with the spine so that we're not jamming up the neck too much. Breathing deeply as we do. You can interlace the fingertips behind the back on this next variation, just to help to open up the shoulders and begin to warm up the shoulders and to practice that motion, because we'll move into moon salutes where we'll do a lot of that. Coming back to tabletop position. This time tucking the toes under and inhaling the right arm up and the left leg. Finding your core stability here, really reaching with both of the arm and the leg. And we're moving into tiger curls, where we inhale to rise and reach, and as we exhale, bring the knee to elbow. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Again, this is our right arm and our left leg, so we should feel pretty stable if we engage all of our abdominal muscles. Matching breath to motion here. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. One more, back through center, and then we'll pivot through and come into this crossbow variation where we're grabbing the back ankle with the fingers, kicking the leg back so that we're opening up the shoulders, and then coming back through center. You can shake out a little bit just to help to neutralize the body, move into some easy quick cat-cows. Continuing to warm up the spine and the vertebrae, and then we'll do the same on the other side, where you lift the left arm and the right leg, finding your core stability here, really reaching with both the fingertips and the toes. And then when you're ready, we'll move into our tiger curls. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhaling, knee to elbow. Moving at your own speed. Always better to slow it down and to move with a lot of integrity and purpose. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. We're going for about 10 of these on each side, but if they're feeling good, I always encourage you to pause this if you'd like and just to continue to do this motion. Otherwise, whenever you feel completed, we will round out and round through I think I realized that I may have forgotten to do that bow variation on this side. And then we're lifting the knees from this tabletop position, keeping the toes on the mat, finding that engaged core as we keep our knees lifted for about 5 breaths here before we push back into a nice deep downward facing dog. So drop the belly, and then this is our first downward facing dog. The hamstrings might be a little bit tight, and so pedaling out the feet, pressing in through the shoulders, lifting the belly, doing what you need to do to begin to warm up your downward facing dog. I like to do a few pulses here. I'm going to drop the hips from left to right now and move in between these two shapes to help twist the sacrum this time. I'm flowing from that shape into a quick Vashisthasana where I'm just rolling the arms in through that shape to help warm up the shoulders. I'm not staying too long in this Vashisthasana side plank shape. Really pressing through the shoulders. Roll forward on the inhale to plank pose. Holding in plank pose just a little bit. We'll move slowly onto the elbows here, or the forearms, keeping the hips lifted, keeping everything engaged, pressing back to regular plank pose. We'll drop the knees, and then drop the chest and the chin so that the booty is still raised. Inhale, slide forward and roll forward to a low cobra where the palms are lifted, the back muscles are nice and engaged. Toes are pointed and engaged, neck is in line with the spine. Tuck the toes under and push up, right back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up high, and exhale, step that foot through into a high lunge. Moving into our moon salutes here. So take the time to really set up your high lunge. The back heel is lifted and the back knee is nice and straight. We're going to step the left foot forward and inhale and come into our deep forward fold. You can interlace the fingertips behind the back, or you can grab opposite elbows if your shoulders don't like that. So find the variation that works best for you. If you are interlacing your fingers, you can drop them out towards the front of your mat. Take a deep bend in the knees and hook the thumbs, reach up, arch back, and come back to a solid standing posture. Inhale the arms up and exhale, swan dive over the legs, interlacing hands behind the back. We're stepping the left leg back this time and inhaling to a high lunge. Back heel is lifted, back knee is lifted, front knee is nice and deep and bent. Place the palms down and exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, drop the knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide forward to a low cobra, and exhale, push back, downward facing dog. This time we'll inhale the left leg up high, exhale, step it through to the palms. Inhale, rise to high lunge, and exhale, right foot meets left, forward folding over the knees. Take a deep bend in the knees and sweep the arms up, and exhale, forward fold one more time. Nice fluid motion. We'll step the left leg back this time and inhale to a high lunge. And plant the palms down. Exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, drop the knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide forward to a low cobra. And exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Lift the right leg one more time. Exhale, step it through to the palms. Inhale, rise to a high lunge. And step forward with the left leg to your forward fold, interlacing hands behind the back. Take a deep bend in the knees as you sweep the arms forward. Hook thumbs, reach up, arch back, and exhale, dive over the knees one more time, interlacing hands behind the back, letting them drop forward. We'll step the right leg back and inhale to a high lunge. Exhale, plant the palms down, step the left leg back and press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank, dropping knees, chest and chin. And inhale, slide forward to a low cobra. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up high and exhale, step the left foot through to the palms. inhaling to a high lunge. We'll step the right foot forward, interlacing hands behind the back. Take a deep bend in the knees as you fold forward and sweep the arms, hook, the thumbs reach up, arch back on the inhale, and exhale, forward fold one more time. We'll step the right leg back and inhale to a high lunge, and plant the palms down, step the right leg back, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale to roll forward to plank. Exhale, drop knees, chest and chin. Inhale, lift the palms to a low cobra, and exhale, push back to downward facing dog. We'll lift the right leg up high, and exhale, send it through to inhale to a high lunge. And exhale, left foot meets right, forward folding over the legs. Take a bend in the knees as you sweep the arms up, hook the thumbs, reach up, arch back, and exhale, forward fold one more time, interlacing hands behind the back. We'll step the right leg back and inhale to a high lunge. Exhale, plant the palms, step the left leg back, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, drop knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide forward to low cobra, and exhale, push back to downward facing dog. We'll inhale the left leg up high. Exhale, send it through to the palms. Inhale to a high lunge. And exhale, right foot meets left, forward folding, interlacing hands behind the back. Take a deep bend in the knees as you sweep the arms up, hook the thumbs, reach up, arch back, and exhale, forward fold one more time, interlacing hands behind the back. We'll step the left leg back, inhale to a high lunge, plant the palms down, step the right foot back, press back to downward facing dog. We'll roll forward on the inhale to plank. Exhale, dropping knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide forward to a low cobra, and exhale, push back to downward facing dog. One more time, I think. Inhale the right leg up high. Exhale, step it through to the palms. Inhale to a high lunge. And bring the palms to heart center this time. We're going to do something a little bit different. Straighten both legs, so both legs are nice and straight. Inhaling up high, and exhale, we're going to bend both knees, so we're dropping the back knee towards the ground. Inhale the arms up, exhaling, come down, have palms at heart center. Inhale to rise, exhale to drop in. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, dropping the knees. Inhale, rise and lift. And we'll step the left leg forward whenever you're ready. And we're interlacing hands behind the back. Same thing, taking the deep bend in the knees, reaching up, and exhale, coming right back down. Interlacing fingertips behind the back, letting them drop forward. We're stepping the right leg back this time, and then we're setting up for this same flow on the left side. So we're inhaling as we lift everything and straighten both legs, and exhale, bending both knees, bringing the back knee to the mat. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, rising and lifting. Exhale, drop the knee. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, rise, straighten both legs. And then plant the palms down, step the left leg back, and push back to downward facing dog. Good. We'll roll forward to plank pose. Once again, coming on to the forearms, so we're coming into a dolphin shape, and then I'm moving forward so that my sternum is moving, is trying to meet my thumbs, and then pushing back. So coming into that downward dog shape, but then rolling forward to a very low plank, and then exhale, pushing back. We're working into the shoulders here and trying to open up the spine and the back even more. Inhale, roll forward to that low plank, and then exhale, push back, opening up the shoulders. And when you're ready with that, we can press right back into plank pose. Holding here, dropping the knees, chest, and chin. We're going to slide forward to a low cobra. And then I'm going to bring my forearms down. We're setting up for a sphinx pose, sphinx shape. So my elbows should be right under my shoulders here. And I'm sending my torso and my heart forward. So this should feel a little bit more of an intense back bend. I'm pivoting my right hand in towards center, about 45 degrees, and then reaching for my left foot with my left hand. Coming into this easy back bend, easy supported back bend here. Also warming up the quads. and the thigh muscles. Bringing my left arm back, pivoting in towards center a little bit more, and then reaching for my back foot, my right foot with my right hand. Kicking back with that leg so that it helps to open up the shoulders and the pectoral muscles a little bit more. And moving back through center, I'm just shaking out and wiggling my hips a little bit. I'm going to bring my right arm out. You can have it be straight or you can have it be bent at the elbow, but then I'm opening up so that I'm coming onto the right edge of my mat. I'm opening up the left side of my body here in this nice twist. So it should be a big twist for the pectoral muscles. There are a couple different variations for what you can do with the hand or the top foot. You could grab it and work into that bow shape that we were just doing, or you can just bring the hand behind the body. It's yogi's choice. One is not necessarily better than the other. But this should feel really good and really delightful. And this pose is supportive of our immune systems too, because it helps to drain the lymph nodes. So this is a nice thing to do as we are in a global pandemic. To switch to the other side, we'll just round out, but feel free to pause the video at any time and just spend more time in either of these postures. Here you can see that my arm is bent at 90 degrees and my shoulder is about perpendicular to the rest of my spine, which is what you're doing, what you would want to work towards. You see I'm going for this bow variation right now where I'm grabbing the top ankle with my hand, but you can take any variation that you want to take. Coming back through center, you can wiggle out and shake out the spine a little bit to help relieve tension. And I'm pushing up to upward facing dog, and then exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here to really push back. Before we open up, begin to shift weight to come into side plank for just a moment. On this side, we are on our right side, so our left arm is lifting. And then quickly moving right into the left-sided Vashisthasana, so our right hand is lifting. Keep lifting the hips as you're in this. It's a lot of core work, but this is heat building. We're going to lower down to full chaturanga this time, and inhale, rise up to upward facing dog, and then exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up high. Exhale, send it through to the palms. This time we're going to set up for warrior one. So our back heel is down. It's not lifted like it was in high lunge. I'm also taking a moment to place my hand on the hips and really make sure that my hips are square here. So back heel is down and hips are square. Open up to warrior two on the inhale. Stay there for a few breaths. Come right back to reverse that warrior. And on your next exhale, go ahead and tip over to extended side angle posture. Bringing the elbow to the knee here. Gaze goes up towards the ceiling. Come back and inhale to warrior two. Nice strong warrior two, straighten the front leg, reach towards the front of the mat, and tip over to Trikonasana triangle pose. If you have blocks, it might be nice to bring blocks to the mat here to help keep that torso lifted. As you stack the shoulders, opening up the hips. Now you stack the shoulders, I mean you're trying to get that top shoulder aligned with the bottom shoulder. We're going to come out of it right through warrior two, bringing the left foot to the front of the mat, come to standing, and then exhale, come into a nice deep fold. Inhale to rise halfway to a flat back, and exhale, deepen that fold. Here I'm going to actually place the hands on my thighs, and you could almost even push your vertebrae away, or push your legs away to extend the vertebrae. And then with that extension, then you deepen the fold. I'm dropping the head and neck here to really let myself drop in. You can grab opposite elbows, you can bend the knees. Here I'm going to bend my knees and place my rib cage on the thigh bones, give myself a nice big hug, and then work towards straightening the legs, releasing any tension in the head and neck as you do, letting gravity do work here. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach the arms up overhead, and exhale, bring palms through heart center, re-arriving at your intention. Dip the fingertips under. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, lift to a flat back. Exhale, fold over the legs one more time. We'll step the legs back to plank pose, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up high. Exhale, send the left foot towards the palms. Same thing, we're dropping the back heel, the right heel as we inhale to warrior one, placing hands on the hips to make sure that my hips are square here. That's the action that you're looking for in warrior one. Sending the chest and the heart forward, lifting the crown, lifting the arms. Nice, beautiful, deep warrior one. Inhale, open up to warrior two. This time the hips are nice and open. Arms are really reaching here. On your next inhale, go ahead and tip back to reverse warrior. And exhale, bring the elbow to the knee. Do a nice counter stretch to extended side angle posture. Inhale, bring the arms up to a T. Warrior two, straighten the front leg. Reach as you tip over, bringing a block if you have it to help support the torso here. See how the torso should really be parallel to the mat. Sometimes you need a couple extra inches to help get you there, which adds just more length and stability. We're tipping back up and then just stepping the right leg forward to standing. Exhale, come into a nice deep Uttanasana, deep forward fold. This time take the feet a little bit apart here, as apart as you want to, as it feels good. But we're just letting the torso really drop into the space between the legs. I'm going to move into some twists. You can keep this fluid and open. Again, twists are a theme in this practice because it also does help to detox the body and to support the immune system. So enjoy this forward fold however you like. I'm heel toeing the feet together so that my legs are together. Take a deep bend in the legs, reach the arms back and inhale, rise to Utkatasana, awkward chair pose. Sink the hips down. Lift the arms. Reach the crown of the head high. See if you can find a little bit more sync before you inhale, push up, and come into standing with palms at prayer. Dip the fingertips under, inhale, rise and lift, and exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale to rise halfway, exhale, fold. Stepping the legs back to plank pose, and exhale, lowering down, full chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. This time we'll lift the right leg up. And here we're going to take a bend in that flying leg. I'm actually also peeking underneath my armpit so I can wave at my toes. Coming into a nice deep hip yawn here with that top leg bent. If it's in your practice and if you'd like to step it back to wild thing pose, I'm just dropping that down, but be careful when you do that. Not everyone is happy with this. You can take any variation you'd like to with that top arm. I like to swivel it around just to help to warm up and stretch out my shoulders. And then from here, you can come into this Vashisthasana quite fluidly. And I am taking a tree pose variation with my leg here. And then keeping that leg contact, you can see that I moved through plank and then switched the hands, and then I'm straightening that bottom leg. Coming into that core exercise. Good. Inhale, rise and lift that right leg. You can keep it lifted the whole time. Step it through to the palms. Inhale to warrior one. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Inhale to reverse warrior and exhale, swivel right on down, stepping the left foot forward. Inhale to a flat back and exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, palms to prayer, standing at the front of your mat. Dip the fingertips under. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Step back or hop back to plank pose, lowering down, full chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. We'll lift the left leg into the air this time, letting it fly. Letting the top leg, the left leg bend. Can take a peek at my toes from underneath my armpit. And then again, if it's in your practice, letting that top leg drop down as you open up so the torso is facing towards the ceiling here. That's going to be the piece that wants to open up and to lift. Any variation you want to take with that flying arm. Otherwise, we're going to come back and set up right for Vashisthasana, side plank one more time, but with this tree pose-like variation. So I'm bringing the sole of my feet to the inside of the thigh. I'm maintaining that contact as I bring my top arm down back to the mat and then swiveling through, this time lifting the right hand and then extending and sending energy through those bottom toes, straightening that. Engaging the core here to stay nice and active and strong in this. Keep that back foot lifted as I step it through. And inhale to warrior one. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Inhale to reverse warrior. And exhale, send it all down, windmilling down, bringing the back leg forward into a nice deep forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhale, reverse swan dive, and exhale, palms to prayer. Dip the fingertips under. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, rise halfway to a flat back, and exhale, fold down. I'm going to step on my palms now. So you can feel free to bend the knees here so that you can wiggle your hands underneath your feet. If you'd like to, you can switch it up so that the palms are actually on the mat and the soles of the feet are on the tops and the backs of the hands here. My toes are riding up over the wrists. If you're here and it feels good, you can play with lifting the heels. So I'm coming onto the ball toe mounds of the feet. My heels are lifted. You have to find your balance point, but I'm engaging my abdominal muscles to make sure that that's possible, that I'm lifting my belly. What am I doing? We're stepping my right leg back and then my left leg back to lower down to plank pose. Inhale through chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Returning back to tabletop position, that's also a theme, just by dropping the knees, shaking out a little bit here, if you'd like to. I'm lifting the right arm and the left leg one more time this time. Again, keeping that fire in the core to keep that nice and strong. And then I'm bringing both out to the side. So my right arm is going out to the side and my left leg is coming out 90 degrees towards the left. Awkward airplane pose. Coming back through center and coming one more time for 3 breaths. Keep that left leg lifted and strong, pointing through the toes. Inhale back through center and then go ahead and grab that back foot, kicking back, opening up in this nice beautiful back bend, and then exhale, releasing down. This time I'm kicking my right leg out like a kickstand so that I can open up the left side body, lifting the left arm and the left knee. I'm coming into my oblique curls. So again, move at your own speed. Match your breath to motion here. Inhale, reach and rise. And then exhale, bring the elbow to the knee. Inhale, reach and rise, elbow to knee. Reach and rise, elbow to knee. Reach and rise, elbow to knee. And we'll come right back through center. Shake it out for a little bit to neutralize the body, to release the shoulders, and then we'll just do the same on the other side, but not before we come into child's pose first. So I'm coming into a child's pose, but this time I'm tenting the fingertips so that opens up the shoulders a little bit more. That might feel good. If that is too much on your shoulders, you can just release that and bring the palms to the mat. Yogi's choice. A little bit of a break here to help relieve some heat. And then we'll come back to tabletop position, this time lifting the left arm and the right leg. Again, finding your stability here. And then just like we did on the other side, bringing the left arm out to the left, the right arm out to the right. It's a little hard to see here. We're working towards having this shape be at 90 degrees or perpendicular to the body. Keep everything lifted as you move back through center for a breath, and then 3 more breaths. Coming back, right leg to the right. Keep it lifted. Moving back through center, grabbing the back foot with the hand, kicking the back foot back so that it helps to open up the shoulders even a little bit more here. And then go ahead and release. Bring the left leg out like it's a kickstand so that you can lift the right arm and the right leg, and then come into your oblique crunches. Again, same as the other side where you're just matching breath to motion here. So bringing the elbow to the knee on the exhale, and then inhale to reach both the foot and the hand away. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, curl in. Even if you slow this down, you'll be doing most of the oblique work, probably even more effectively. And when you've done about 10, you can come back to tabletop. This time I'm going to grab the heels with the hands and then send the hips up. And you'll actually, by having that grip on the heels, you'll have some traction that pulls the shoulder blades down, which might be a really nice counter stretch for what we've been doing. Stay there for as long as you'd like, otherwise release. This time I'm going to take the knees nice and wide and come into a wide-legged child's pose. Really sending the torso down, sending the heart down, letting the heart space really pour towards the mat. And then we'll slide forward onto our bellies. This time coming into bow pose. And then we'll kick right up. So we're grabbing the back ankles with the fingertips, and then we kick our legs back. And from that action, in addition to breathing deeply, don't forget to breathe here. Our bodies don't want to breathe here. But by that action, we open up the shoulders, and we come into our back bend. We'll go ahead and release down, bring one cheek to the mat. I do like to windshield wiper my legs just to help release my lower back here. Before we're going to come up one more time into bow pose. Oh no, we're not coming into bow pose. We just did a push-up into plank pose. And now we're doing opposite side shoulder taps here in plank. It's hard not to let the hips drop from or move from side to side, but try to keep them level. See if you can minimize the best you can when you're doing your shoulder taps, the movement of the body and the movement of the hips. Good. Now we're pressing back to downward facing dog. Our shoulders should be nice and open, so that should be nice and deep. I'm going to step the right foot forward and then come into Prasarita Padottanasana. So it's basically a wide-legged forward fold. And then this is going to be fairly open from here on out. This is one of my favorite postures, and I think it's really beneficial, so follow it in the way that makes sense for you. But my legs are pretty wide here, and you can play with how far apart the feet are. I'm interlacing my fingertips behind the back of my neck, and I'm not pulling on my head, but I'm letting the extra weight of my arms just assist gravity in giving a little bit of space to my neck. A little bit of space to the vertebrae. The temptation is from this pose to move into a tripod headstand, but I actually prefer to not put weight in my neck. I like to do the opposite. So play with this posture, take any variations that make sense here. You can see me kind of playing around You can come into these nice twists where you bring the opposite hand to an ankle one at a time. You can stack the shoulders or wrap them behind the back. Again, letting this time be a little bit free. We're going to move into Skandasana here. So from this posture, I'm taking a deep bend in my right knee. And then I'm lifting and finding balance on my left heel. So left toes are pointed back towards the face, the right knee is deeply bent. You can start by bringing palms to prayer here. And this might be good enough. Or you can also choose to bring the right hand down and lift and open up the left side body. This might be enough, or if you do want to take the bind, you can certainly decide to do so. If you find that you're collapsing a little bit in the shoulders, I would say maybe just stay where you're open and lifted. That just feels like a better place for the body. It might also be nice to have blocks here to help support hands on the mat if you'd like to. Otherwise, we're just going to walk right over to the other side. So this time, our left leg is deeply bent. The right toes are pointing back towards the face. You can start by palms at prayer. And if you'd like to, you can plant the left palm down and open up the right arm. You can begin by stacking the shoulders. And then again, if that feels really great and accessible, you can take a bind. So I'm wrapping my hands behind the back, opening up the hips here. And release down. We're going to come right back and do Prasarita Padottanasana, walking the hands back towards the front of the mat. This time straightening both legs. I actually decided to move my blocks here. Coming into this pyramid pose shape with the back heel lifted. So again, I want to work into our hamstrings here. And blocks just kind of help to provide a little bit more stability. From that, I'm taking a bend in the front leg and coming into a low lunge, but rocking back and forth on my back toes a little bit. My back toes are my left toes, just to help to warm up the front hip flexor, the psoas, dropping that back knee, bringing the hands to the inside of the right foot here. And then we're going to come right into pigeon pose from that posture. So you can bring the right knee to the right wrist. I'm checking my back leg to make sure that it's nice and straight on the mat. It might be really nice if you have a blanket here to use a blanket or the blocks for support. That can be under either the left leg or under the right hip to provide just a little bit extra support for the body. I'm going to start this pigeon pose by actually reaching the palms alongside the body behind me. So it's a nice elevated pigeon. And then I'm going to move through these pigeon flows, where I tent the fingertips on either side of the body, inhale to rise and exhale to fold in. Inhale, rise and lift, move vertebrae by vertebrae. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, dropping down. Eventually making my way to an easy reclined pigeon pose. You have the option to come into a twisted pigeon here. So in order to do this, I'm dropping my left shoulder onto the mat and then extending my left arm towards my right knee. Pushing back through. I'm going to return once again to this upright pigeon. Kind of think that you're the mermaid at the bow of a ship. Reaching back as you engage those back core muscles. And then we'll come out of it right from where we came into our low lunge. This time though, from this low lunge, I'm dropping the back leg and I'm coming onto my forearms if that's in your practice. I'm going to bend the left leg and reach for the left foot with my right hand. Hinge pose. And you can see I'm opening up here, so letting my torso really open up to the right edge of the mat. Kicking back with that foot again to help to open up the shoulders and deepen the back bend, and then releasing down whenever you feel ready. We'll come right back up, twist around from Prasarita Padottanasana. I'm going to spend a moment just to help to shake out that practice, to help neutralize the body before we move and walk our hands to the bottom of the mat. I'm grabbing my blocks because I'll want them for this Prasarita, this pyramid pose variation with the back heel lifted. The torso is nice and long here as I'm working into my left leg now, so it's my left hamstrings that we're starting to warm up. These blocks are providing some extra stability, eventually making your way to a low lunge. So palms are on the mat. Bring the palms now to the inside edge of the left foot as I'm rocking back and forth, again to begin to warm up the right front hip flexors, the right psoas, before I drop that leg down, dropping the right leg down. Eventually making my way to pigeon pose, bringing the left knee down. The left knee comes down towards the left wrist. Again, it's setting yourself up with your props and supports in any way that feels good. Bringing the arms alongside the body behind you. Breathing deeply here in this nice, beautiful, upright, back-bending pigeon. Before you move into your pigeon breathing flow, so palms alongside the body. Inhale, rise and lift, and exhale, curling in, folding in. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, fold. Before you come into your nice, deep, beautiful, reclined, restorative pigeon, this time, just like on the other side, if you would like to come into a twisted pigeon, you certainly could. I'm extending my right arm onto the mat by bringing my right shoulder to the mat and then letting my left side open up. Stay there for as long as you would like to. Otherwise, we're going to return to this upward facing pigeon, this back bending pigeon. Reaching the arms alongside the body. Again, being the mermaid at the front of the ship. Before I push up and push back into this low lunge that we started in, again bringing the palms on the inside of the foot, coming onto the forearms here. Bending the back leg, and go ahead and grabbing that back right foot with the left hand. Kicking back as a way to open up that shoulder. Releasing that down, pressing the palms down, to come right back into our wide-legged forward fold one more time. This has been the foundational posture for us. And I'm taking a moment here to just take yogi toe lock on either of the toes, shaking out the head and neck. I'm going to interlace the fingertips behind the back one more time, just to help support space in the vertebrae, which feels really important right now. And then I'm stepping into a deep forward fold at the front of my mat, revisiting that one more time. Taking a deep bend in the knees, reach the arms alongside the body and inhale, rise to Utkatasana, awkward chair pose. Holding here, breathing deeply. Kick up, stand up, and exhale, bring the palms down through heart center. Dip the fingertips under, inhale, rise and lift to a baby back bend, and exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale to rise halfway, exhale, come into a deep fold, step the legs back or hop back to plank pose, lower down through chaturanga on the exhale, and on the inhale, rise to upward facing dog. Exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up high. Exhale, step through the palms. Drop the back heel and inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to reverse warrior, and exhale to windmill the palms down. Step the left foot forward to a deep forward fold. Reach the arms back. Inhale, awkward chair pose, Utkatasana, taking a deep bend in the knees, sinking the hips here. Inhale, spring up to reach the arms, and exhale, palms at heart center. Dip the fingertips under, reach the thumbs up, and exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale to rise halfway, exhale, fold down. Reach the arms back. Inhale, rise to Utkatasana, awkward chair pose, one more time. Bring the palms to prayer here, keeping the legs as they are, and then we'll bring the left elbow to the right knee this time, coming into twisted Utkatasana, twisted awkward chair. We're going to step back into a twisted lunge here, so you know what you're preparing for. So I'm gazing at my feet. I'm going to slowly lift my left leg up and then step it back with a lot of control. Ooh, almost lost my balance. Step it back with a lot of control to this twisted lunge. You can choose to keep the palms at prayer, or you can expand the wingspan and stack the shoulders, or if you're extra and hypermobile, you can also go for a bind like I'm going for here. And you can flow in between those two. Otherwise, I'm planting the palms down and stepping right back into downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, drop down to chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale, push back to downward facing dog. We'll lift the left leg up high this time and step it through to the palms. Drop the back heel and inhale to warrior one. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Inhale to reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill the palms down. Stepping the right foot forward to a forward fold. Nice deep forward fold. Reach the arms back, take a deep bend in the knees, and inhale, rise to Utkatasana, awkward chair pose. Really sink the hips down, reach through the fingertips. As you inhale, rise and lift, and exhale, palms through heart center, re-arriving at your intention. We'll hook the thumbs, dip the fingertips, inhale, rise and lift, exhale, swan dive. Inhale to rise halfway, and exhale, fold. I went through that fast. We're going to come into Utkatasana one more time by taking a deep bend in the knees, reaching the arms back. And on your next exhale, we'll bring the palms down through heart center and come into twisted Utkatasana, this time bringing the right elbow to the left knee. Again, I'm going to start by lifting my right foot a little bit to step into our twisted lunge. Try to do it with a lot of nice control. And then again here, it's yogi's choice. You can choose to expand the wingspan here to work towards stacking the shoulders, or if you have a lot of mobility, you can take a bind and grab the hands behind the back. We'll come out of it just like we came in through. And then we'll step right back to downward facing dog. Push back to a nice big downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, drop down through chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. And now drop the hips to the left, rolling through. Just saying hello to Vashisthasana one more time to continue to build heat in our practice. At this point, I'm sweating, by the way. Same on the right side, switching sides right on in. And then coming back to plank pose, lowering down nice and strong. This time we're going to set up for Bekasana, frog pose. So come into Sphinx like we did before. So I'm on my forearms, propped up by my elbows. I'm going to pivot my left arm in about 45 degrees and grab the very top of my right foot, my right toes, with my right hand. So you can see that my elbow is pointing towards the ceiling and my fingertips are actually pointing down. This is a nice stretch in the front right hip and the toes even, and the quads. I actually like to give my toes a little massage here, just give them some love, and then push back, maybe find a deepening of the posture before you release down. Shake it out a little bit before you go to the other side, pivoting the right arm in 45 degrees, and then pushing down on the left toes with the left fingertips. Again, left elbow is pointing towards the ceiling here. The shoulders are working towards square at the front of your mat. Give your left toes a little massage. And release them down. Good. Tucking everything under. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog. And then exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Good. I'm stepping the right foot forward and coming into and revisiting our wide-legged forward fold one more time before I wipe the sweat off of my brow. And you can choose to do this. I'm switching sides just to demonstrate something here. So what I'm going to do is walk my hands towards the front of the mat. And then you can see I'm set up, if I continue to move in that direction, for Gomukhasana, where I have both knees stacked on top of each other. If that was a little weird, should just feel free to rewind it and see that all happen again. But so my knees are stacked on top of each other. I'm reaching for the block here. My feet are on either side. In this case, I have my right leg on top. And this is just going to be an easy forward fold. Right forward fold right on top of my knees. My torso is resting on top of my knees. You have an option here for the blocks. You can rest the forehead on the blocks to help support the rest of the bones of the body draping over the legs. You can also place the block and stack it on top of your knees and rest your forehead on that, if that feels good and accessible. And we'll rise and lift to come out of that. This time we're bringing in the top right leg in towards the chest. We're setting up for Matsyendrasana, Lord of the Fishes pose. You can choose to extend that bottom leg if you want. Otherwise, we'll inhale the left arm up and over, and then use that elbow on the knee to as leverage to deepen the twist. Again, you can take any arm variation that you'd like to take here. You can keep that top arm lifted. You can go for a bind here. But wherever you are, continuing to breathe deeply into this twist. This twist will constrict the space in the lungs, so you have to continue to round out the breath. And we'll take a counter stretch to the left, keeping the legs where they are. And then we'll extend the bottom leg and come into a little arm balance called baby grasshopper pose. I'm going to put my left palm down, grab the outside edge of the left foot with my right hand, and then you shift weight onto the bottom foot and hand and just push and press up. So my torso is coming parallel to the mat, and I'm just using that and sending a lot of weight into my bottom standing foot. You can come back down. Maybe give it another shot, again pushing the hand down, grabbing the foot, and giving an easy little push. And returning to that, I'm going to tuck my bottom leg back in, walk my hands back to the top of the mat, and we're going to do that little breakdancing move to come out into Gomukhasana on the other side. So I'm just going to lift my hips, keep my feet where they are, walk your hands back and around, back through standing straddle, walk them to the other edge of your mat, and then drop the hips with the knees stacking on top of them. You saw that? Yeah, it's a cool little breakdancing move. And so again, this time the left leg should be on top for left-sided Gomukhasana. Go ahead and grab your block or your support if you need, acknowledging that this side of the body may feel very differently too than the other side. So letting this posture just be what it needs to be in terms of supports and in terms of how you're going to work with it. And coming out of that, we're going to move into Matsyendrasana, Lord of the Fishes, the pose on this side, tucking the left leg in towards the chest. You can choose to extend the bottom right leg or not. Inhale the right arm up overhead, and exhale, bring that elbow to the knee, deepening the twist. Again, you can choose to keep the arm like that. You can bring the hand down, or you can go for a bind. Yogi's choice. All are great. But wherever you are, bringing the neck and the head and the gaze into the twist and breathing deeply in our last big final twist of this practice. Once again, unwinding from that with a counter stretch. This time we'll stretch to the right. Easy counter stretch. And then we'll set up for baby grasshopper on this side. So we're extending the bottom right leg. I'm going to put my right hand down outside the body, and you can grab the outside edge of the left foot of the right foot with the left hand, and then you tip over, putting a lot of weight into the foot and the mat that's on the ground. Sorry, foot and the hand that's on the ground. I'm going to pivot just so you can see it a little bit. So again, let right hand down, left foot down, and then you tilt over and push up and lift. And from here, I'm going to tuck my legs back in. We're going to get out of this like we came in last time. Again, hands to the bottom of the mat. Keep your feet where they are. Just lift the hips, and then you can walk the hands over, this time ending in our straddle once more. So from here, I'm just going to take a step to the front of the mat to reset the body. Coming into a nice deep forward fold, just to shake everything out, take a moment to get loose. Inhale, rising up, reaching up, and exhale, palms through heart center. And I've come out of my frame. Give me a moment, take a breath. Here we go. Inhaling again, palms through heart center in our nice deep stand. We're going to do a little bit of balance move through with flying pigeon now. So we'll start by rooting weight into our right leg. Bring the left ankle to the space just above the right knee and really make that contact have a lot of good pressure so that they're really sticking to each other, the ankle and the knee there. And then you begin to lower down and lower down through a squat. So this should feel reminiscent of pigeon pose. Keep lowering, and then eventually at one point you might feel nice and natural as you come into the squat to place the fingertips on the mat, and then you can work towards straightening the standing leg. That will be a big stretch for the left hip and the right hamstring. I'm also going to throw in an option here to do an arm balance in flying pigeon. If you'd like to, you can place the left shin onto both of the forearms on the space there just beneath the bicep, just above the elbow, and then you slowly lift that bottom standing leg. Tuck it in towards the body. Give it a shot. It is a fun variation. You can also choose to, again, just stay where you are in that standing pigeon, which might be well enough. When you unwind, keep that leg lifted, that left leg. And the option here to bring it out towards the side to 90 degrees in the body, working towards and trying to keep that leg nice and straight, and then go ahead and stand and release. Step the legs out to just give them a release. Inhale the arms up overhead and exhale, come into a nice deep fold. I'm flowing into a vinyasa here just to help to neutralize the body and keep heat in my practice. That is an option for you. I would encourage it. And then from your downward facing dog, whenever you get there, just step the feet forward. This time we'll set up for rolling up, we'll set up for standing pigeon, standing flying pigeon on the other side. So this time I'm rooting weight into my left leg, bringing my right ankle just to the space right above my left knee, making that point of contact very intentional and with a lot of power. And it's very sticky, so I'm pressing my foot back into the knee. As you slowly lower down, sending the booty out, it should feel similar to eagle pose, Garudasana, or Utkatasana, awkward chair pose. Yeah. If you lose your balance, just find your steadiness and come back in. Find your drishti, your point of eye contact on the mat. Lowering down slowly, slowly. Eventually, you'll want to place the fingertips on the mat, and then you can work towards straightening that standing leg. There'll be, again, a deep stretch for the hip and the hamstring. And then play again with this flying variation if you'd like. I again am hooking the ankle right above the elbow and placing both the shin at the both elbows, and then lifting and raising my bottom standing leg. It's a fun arm balance variation. We all have a decent amount of time to do weird things with our bodies these days and to play around with things, so continue to play with that variation. Or just stay standing. That's also a very deep posture for the hips, which might feel really nice. Returning to the front of your mat, inhale the arms up overhead and exhale palms to heart center. Exhaling, swan diving over the legs. I'm flowing through a vinyasa. I would encourage you to do the same. Stepping back to plank pose, lowering down on the exhale. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. I'm going to come to my knees now. I'm making my way to my back. We're going to set up for boat pose, Navasana. Enter into that and flow into that in a way that makes sense for your body. I'm going to keep my legs straight here with my palms facing upward in Navasana, boat pose. You also have the option to bend at the knees if this will make the posture more sustainable. Keeping the legs straight brings in a little bit more power and heat into the sequence. We're holding here. We're going to flow in and out of Navasana for a little bit of final abdominal work into this practice. So lowering slowly, 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 keeping that nice engagement with the straight legs until you finally reach the mat. Do so with a lot of control. I'm going to bring the knees in towards the chest and just windshield wiper my legs to help release the abdomen. We're going to move back into Navasana just like we came in. So from that hollow body shaped, inhale as you lift everything with a lot of control and power. This time I'm going to bring my hands in between my legs, take yogi toe lock with the feet, and then with a lot of integrity in the spine, the balance will shift at the sits bones, but bringing my legs to a straddle. So wide-legged boat pose, Navasana. Bringing my shoulders down so my neck is nice and clear, my spine is nice and straight, and energy is sending out through the crown here. Bringing the legs back to center, coming into boat pose. Once more, lowering down slowly, slowly to the ground with a lot of control. And we're going to move into yoga bicycles. Again, just to add a little bit more heat and power and work into this practice. I think that while this is a little bit of, exercise classy, I think at the same time this does help to move fluid in the body, to help bring in more dynamic twisting into the body. And you can match the motion to breath here. So that's my justifying of this ab work. I'm going for 40 here, and I would encourage you to do the same. Again, we all have some shit to work out right now, and this might be a good way to do it. And once you get to 40, go ahead and release. Again, windshield wipering the legs to help release the lower back and the abdominals. And at this point in the practice, we're moving into our backbends, our backbending sequence. I'm going to give you 3 options here. If you have blocks at home and you can do this, supported bridge pose, I would encourage you. It's a really nice option with 2 blocks that are stacked on top of each other. I'm rolling it and placing it under my sacrum, and you should be nice and supported here. And then you can see I'm playing around with some of the options. I can bring one knee in towards the chest at a time, but also staying in that position where both legs are straight. And you can play around with that and be in that posture for a long time. It is nice and supported. If you don't have the blocks at home and you would like to come into the bridge, I am going to, from that same shape, lift my pelvis and then interlace my fingertips underneath my body and roll my shoulders in. Continuing to lift the hips, lift the pelvis, and then you can see that there's that back bend in the middle, upper back, really pressing through the feet that are going to be supporting you here in this bridge pose. Work in these two, and then the third option would be if wheel is in your practice, full wheel, and you feel comfortable doing so, please feel free to move into that posture at any point, and you can pause this and pick up the other postures that finish the sequence if you'd like to. Wheel can be a little bit spicy if you've never done it before, so I would just exercise caution without having a spot or guidance there. And then finally, you could also move into shoulder stand, which I'm doing here. Once you're done with your back bends and your back bending sequence, I'm lifting my hips and then placing my fingertips at the sacrum, and I'm pushing my pelvis in towards my face at the same time that I'm actually pressing my feet back, if that makes sense. So you're working towards your legs being vertical with the torso either. And then, yeah, I like to do these variations. I'm going to offer you some different things you can do in shoulder stand. You can move into plow pose, which is where I am right now. From plow, you can also bring the knees to either side of the ears, so the head is in between the legs, as a really beautiful stretch of the lower back and a final resting posture. And then again, just flowing right into shoulder stand. In shoulder stand, I do like to sometimes drop one leg at a time into some splits. Shoulder stand split works. But this time is yours. In these shoulder stand variations, be really generous with this posture and give it a lot of time. It is so beneficial for our bodies right now and to support immunity and proper functioning to be inverted, to have our feet and our hips above the head. It flushes out the lymph nodes, it gets blood moving through new parts of the body, it supports our circulation, and it keeps us youthful. So I encourage you, if you can find a way to just have your hips and feet above your head at any point during the day, do take it. And then coming back down. I'm going to move into a reclined pigeon posture right now. So I'm bringing my right ankle to my left knee and then hugging my left knee in towards the chest. This is a version of pigeon, which we've been doing a lot of in this practice, but this is a reclined and supported pigeon. And from here, stay here for as long as you'd like, because this is a beautiful posture. But when you're ready, we'll slide into supine twist by just bringing that knee forward, taking a double bind at the feet if you can, and then bringing the arms to a T here. The legs drop out towards the left and my gaze goes out beyond the right shoulder.